What's up, my friends? We're trying this again. This is the retry of yesterday's stream because it was just horrible. Plagued with issues. A lot of people were probably busy, possibly as well. So that threw it all off. We'll see how today goes. It was already starting to give me a few like low frequency or low errors on the streaming software. So we'll see. Right now it says excellent condition, and it's been saying excellent condition for a little bit now. And hopefully it stays that way. It was getting me a little bit worried there because it kept on giving me a little bit of issues at first when I first hit the live button, but hopefully we're good now. So what's up, my friends? Welcome. Live stream here to facilitate your Army questions. So if you have questions about the United States Army, leave those in the chat and I'll do my best to answer as many as possible. Sometimes I do jump around, and if I miss your question, you can re-ask it again. Just make sure that you're paying attention. Don't just re-ask it again because you left and came back and don't know if I answered it or not because you weren't here. So make sure you pay attention to that kind of a thing. Also, don't spam it. Don't spam your question. If after the second time I still haven't answered it, the best way to get a hold of me is go follow me on Instagram. Shoot me a message on Instagram. I know sometimes I see a few people once in a blue moon where they get all butthurt a little bit because maybe I didn't get to their question. Like I said, sometimes the chat gets busy. Sometimes it's pretty easy to keep up. Sometimes it gets really busy. But it's easy. Go follow me on Instagram, shoot me a message. I usually can get back to you within less than 5 days. I have a couple of messages in the queue right now that I still need to reply to, but you know, I usually can get back to you in less than 5 days, and you can get the answer to your question through Instagram if you don't get the answer to your question through here, all right? A little bit later, we are gonna do the drawing for the giveaway, so we can knock that out for the October entries and everything. You won't be able to enter during this live stream, but if you already entered, cool. Hopefully you also had your email address linked to your username. Otherwise, if you didn't, too late now, because I've already got all that stuff featured and ready. So that way, if I draw your name, I can see if I got your email address and then send you a $100 Amazon gift card. We'll get to that a little bit later. What's happening? Notification platoon individuals. We got Jesse. We got Cop. We got Random Clips Military. We've got Teddy. We've got Edward. We got VGMR. We've got Larry. We got Jason Mitchell. TFR 60. Becca. We got Wanda. We got Doug the Eliminator. Hans. Gabriel, Drama, Praise, Zach, Juan, Ninja, America. Awesome. Good deal. So just make sure you drop your questions down below or down in the chat, kind of a thing. Would be over that way probably. All right, we also got a like goal, 100 likes. See if we can't make that happen tonight and hit 100 likes tonight. So let's get into hopefully some questions. Hopefully you guys got some stuff that you want to know about the good old United States Army. Let's see. Let's come into the chat. I'm gonna do one of the Christmas things that I did last year. What Christmas things? What did I do last year for Christmas? Did I do like a little tribute video? Is that what you're talking about? I don't know. I don't know if I do have another. Maybe a fun little. If that's what you're talking about, I did that little Christmas video where I kind of put together some stuff that was happening with soldiers during Christmas time and stuff like that. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. What was that on the TV in the beginning? That was a little kind of like mini documentary thing that I uploaded to YouTube a long ass time ago. I did this little mini documentary on my first tour to Iraq, and I believe that video it's on YouTube. I think it's still on YouTube. It might be under like my very first YouTube channel that was called Chaos Productions, and I think it's on there, and it was called A Soldier's Story from Iraq. And it was a little mini documentary that's like 15, 20 minutes long, something like that. I don't remember how long it is. Maybe it's only 10 minutes long. I don't remember. And that was kind of just the thing that's playing on there. Fun fact, it's not really playing on the TV. I superimposed it later onto the TV. So I was staring at a blank TV for 5 minutes with a timer and then stopped when the 5-minute timer was up so that we could do it for the intro. Got finally diagnosed with a mild asthma, so can't join any military branch. Currently on firefighter school because serving is all that matters. Thank you for being awesome, Chris. Well, thanks, Han. Well, good luck to you. I'm sorry that, if you really want to join the military and you can't. Hopefully, it still doesn't prevent you from doing great things, right? You're doing the firefighter stuff. That's still pretty awesome, all right? So that's still pretty cool stuff, and you can still do great things as a firefighter or doing whatever you want to do. As long as you're doing something to help people, then that's pretty cool, right? Firefighter, police officer, teacher, all sorts of opportunities. Doctor, if you really want to go that far. So don't get discouraged. I think that's still pretty awesome kind of a thing. I still haven't gone to MEPS. Ran Prince over 2 months ago. My recruiter, RPOS, is what it is. Laziness. I mean, it could be. I mean, you can always try talking to another recruiter. If there's like multiple, like if you live in a large city, you might have multiple recruiting stations, and you can always try to like hit up another recruiting station maybe, and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" He says 2 months ago. Yeah, I mean, something should have been going on within 2 months. I mean, if you bug them and ask what's going on, and they'll give you a good answer, then maybe try bugging another recruiter station. Be like, "Hey, I'm trying to join the damn army. This other recruiting station, I did the paperwork 2 months ago, and I still haven't gotten anywhere. Can you guys help me?" Right? So you can always try that. What's your favorite holiday? Yours is Halloween and Thanksgiving. Halloween's pretty cool. I haven't really gotten into the Halloween spirit the last couple of years, though. Maybe next year. I don't know. Birthday? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Maybe Halloween. I'm not too sure. Hey, Chris, I'm going to basic training in Fort Jackson as a 35 Fox with Airborne on November 9th. Oh, man. Good deal. Hopefully all works out for you. Hopefully Airborne School is awesome. Hopefully basic training is awesome. Good luck to you. Hopefully you come back to the chat and live streams and tell us all about it. What up, Chris? The process of trying to get a waiver for a felony I got right after turning 18, grand theft from a person for stealing beer from a store. This was 9 years ago. Ever heard of a waiver for this? Sometimes it depends. I think sometimes you have to prove your case. Like maybe because it was so long ago, maybe that's a little easier to do. And because you were at a young age. Sometimes I've heard of a few. I don't know too much about like waiver processes in a lot of cases. I've heard from I think maybe a few people or maybe one person. I don't remember what it was, but it was like difficult kind of a thing where you had to really kind of prove that you've turned your life around and been doing something to better yourself and haven't been getting in trouble and all sorts of other things. So I think it can be pretty tricky. I think it's possible. It might just be a bit of a challenge. So don't expect it to be easy. Kind of a thing. That's possibly how it could go. When you get your dog tags in the Army during basic, you'll get issued those when you're around the same time. You're like doing ID cards and uniforms and boots and all that kind of stuff like that. They'll make your dog tags, your ID tags, and you'll get them, and then you'll be stuck with them forever. And then if you lose them, then there's a place on post to have them done. But a lot of times you can go off post a little bit easier to have them made, and you just have to pay for them. What's happening, Jim? How's it going? How do you get the rank icon next to your name? That's memberships. So if you hit that join button down below, there's 3 different tiers. Different tiers offer different kind of perks, kind of a thing. There's the very minimum one, which is just get a cool little name badge or a little rank badge next to your name. The longer you're a member, that one's pretty cheap. It's only $1.99 a month. If you want a little bit more perks, you want to get sometimes if I have videos done early, then you can get early access to videos to watch them before they go public to everybody else when I do have that available. And then if you want that plus higher perks like having your name down below during all the live streams, then that's the third highest perk and everything. But even the first one, if you just want that, that's still gets you the cool rank next to your name if you if you want that kind of a thing. So either way, but that's what it's from. It's from the join button. Does the Army still give the anthrax vaccine to those going to Korea? I don't know if did they ever do it for Korea? I know they do it for like overseas for like Iraq or Afghanistan. I don't know if I don't remember if they would, I know I didn't have to do it when I went to Korea, but I had to do it when I went to Iraq. I don't know if anything's changed since then, so I couldn't tell you for Korea. If you have any knowledge on the Lautenberg Amendment, please share. Isn't that the one where if you've not 100% sure because I'm not up to all my law school stuff. Well, it's not really law school, but pretty sure isn't that the one where if you've committed a domestic violence, you're not allowed to have a weapon. So the army, the military won't let you join. So yes, if that's what it is, then yeah, that's how it goes. If you've been committed, like if you actually got convicted of any kind of type of crime like that, where you like beat your wife, your child, even your brother or sister, you can get domestic violence for that kind of a thing too. So if you've got a domestic violence charge, then yeah, that eliminates you. You're not allowed to join the military because you're not allowed to possess a weapon. What do you do with your Eagle cash card? And does the military still use those cash cards? I'm not sure if they still use it. Mine's on a little memorabilia, little shelf back there. It's sitting over there. Actually, it's inside of one of the Ridge wallets, and I have it for when I do the whole thing for whatchamacallit, for the sponsorships things. So when I do the sponsorship thing, then I usually have it inside the Ridge wallet for that kind of a thing. So yeah, it's there. I don't know if I'm not 100% sure if they still use it or not. I couldn't tell you. Did you and Mrs. Chaos meet after you got out of the army? Chaos Junior's great. It's not Chaos Junior, but Little Chaos because it's her. I don't think you have a female junior, can you? I don't know. But you seem more like someone who'd have a son. Well, I mean, it's a daughter. Yeah, I know. I don't get to pick the sex. It just happens that way. But yeah, I met her. I kind of knew her, not very well. I think while I was in the army, maybe. I don't remember. Because like she knew my family. We're from the same hometown. We might have been like Facebook friends. Maybe while I was still in the army. I don't remember for sure. Might have been after I got out of the army that we became Facebook friends. But we knew each other sort of through that because we both, like she knew my mom, she knew my sister, she knew like some of my other relatives and stuff like that because we're from the same hometown. And then we became friends and then went out on a date and been together ever since then. But yeah. 31, working on joining the army. What are the requirements for my age to join? I mean, as long as you're not 35. I mean, there's no difference in age requirement. Like, there's no different requirements if you're 31 compared to if you're 18. It's the same requirements. As long as you're between the age of 17, because 17 you can join, but you have to have parents' consent, and not older than 35. If you're older than 35, then you have to really try to get a waiver for that, and that's sometimes difficult to get because it depends on what you're going to do and certain kind of criteria as far as needs of the army, of how badly they need people for that MOS, and a lot of other kind of factors. But if you're between the ages 17, 35, same requirements. So the same requirements that I have. I have a video on how to join the United States Army. I believe it's called something like that. And that explains a lot of stuff. But yeah, your requirements are the same, whether you're 31 or 18 or 34. You're just getting kind of close to the cutoff if you're 34. Any tips for a Swedish guy who wants to join the U.S. Army Rangers? The main thing would be being a legal resident, right? You either have to get your U.S. citizenship. I don't know if Rangers, you might need a secret clearance, so then you usually can't get a secret clearance if you're not a U.S. citizen. I don't know if Rangers need a secret clearance, though, for sure or not. But at a minimum, just to get into the Army, you're going to have to become a legal U.S. resident, which means getting like your green card, moving to the United States, and establishing a residence in the United States to become a legal resident type of thing, because you can't join the United States Army from another country because it's not the World Army, it's the United States Army. So it's basically a thing for people that are U.S. residents, right? Whether you're a U.S. citizen or just a green card holder, live in the United States, that's kind of the main thing you'd have to start with. Male soldiers basically have to be bald all the time. No, I mean you have it pretty strict, like when you're in basic training, and it lightens up a little bit when you're in AIT, but that's about it. But then after AIT, I mean, yeah, you can do whatever you want as long as your hair is within standards. But no, you don't have to be bald. I mean, you can have hair on top of your head. You have to keep the sides pretty short, kind of a thing. But no. Leave for basic 8 days. Any tips? Well, hopefully you're already in good shape and everything's good. So All you need now is just, stay motivated, try to enjoy things while you're home, seeing family, friends, and have a good time, but not too much fun that's going to get you in trouble. But other than that, just try to suck up as much time as you can so you have some great memories to look back on to motivate you for why you did this or whatever, and motivate you to push through everything that sucks possibly about basic training. And then it gets better once you get done with all that initial training. It's more like a regular job depending on your MOS, unless you're doing cook or MPs or stuff like that. Then yeah, the hours get a little crazy. But other MOSs a lot of times just like a regular job, a little bit more stricter, of course, but it's not as bad as basic training was. So just have fun, enjoy your free time while you can still enjoy it. I mean, you'll get free time again once you get out of initial training, but you're not gonna see free time for a little bit until you get done with that initial training. What do you think about the new Halloween movie or Halloween Kills movie? I don't know. I haven't seen it. I remember the old school Halloween movies, and I don't remember if I've seen like the last couple of Halloween movies or not. I don't remember. But I don't know. Maybe at some point I might watch it. Evie made it to the stream. Well, good deal, Evie. Thanks for coming to stop in. Don't fall asleep on me. I'll leave November 9th to Fort Jackson, 91 Bravo. All right, good deal. So good luck to you, man. You still hang out with other soldiers you were in the Army with? Not a whole lot. There's not a few that I was in the Army with that still live in this area. So not really too much. I have friends that were in the Army, but I was not in the Army with them, type of thing. So, yeah. I didn't do the giveaway just yet. We'll probably do that here, I don't know, probably pretty soon. Can I join if I'm in a different state? Yeah, I mean, it's the United States Army, so as long as you're in the United States, every state has probably a recruiting office somewhere, right? Your hometown might have one. If you live in a small town, then you might might have to go a little bit farther away to do so. But yeah. I was about to say I ain't seen a video pre-release yet. It's because you're not a member. If you didn't hit the join button and pay to be a subscriber, not just hitting the subscribe button, that's not being a member. So if you thought hitting that subscribe button is being a member, that's not a member. That's just being a subscriber to the channel. If you want to pay to have the perks, and that's the $4.99 platoon sergeant perk, you gotta hit that join button and become a thing. But yeah, if you were a member, you'd have an icon next to your name, so that shows me that you were not a member. You're just a subscriber. My friend who's still in says it's a optional thing. You're not deployed to the Middle East. Oh, for what was it, for Anthrax we were talking about earlier? Okay, good deal. What type of comments do you forbid in live streams? Besides politics? I mean, yeah, avoid politics, too personal of a question, ridiculous questions. I don't know. Probably a few different kind of categories. Yeah, I see Drama said, wait, where's my icon? Yeah, you don't have an icon because you're not a member. You have to hit that little join button and pay for a membership if you want to be a member. Just ask the filling question. I've been productive member of society. I own a home and 2 vehicles now. Married with 2 children. Got to count for something. It might. I don't know what they're looking for specifically, so I don't know what's good and what's bad and what they really want to decide if they're going to give that person a waiver or not. So I couldn't tell you. But best thing to do is just give it a shot, right? You don't want to be in a situation where you're like, well, I probably can't join because I have this or I have that. And then turns out later on, you could have, but now you're too old or you're injured or whatever the case is. So it's always best just to go for it, give it a shot. And if it doesn't work out, then you'll at least know, right? You'll at least know that, yeah, I can't join. But if you don't give it a shot, you won't know. And it might bug you. So you just got to give it a shot and just try. Crazy was just told today refusal to get vaccine is other than honorable. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't know what the process is going to be like for that. It might depend on the leadership, the chain of command, your history of being in the Army, what you've done. I don't know. I don't know what the actual final determination is and how they're going to decide what type of discharge it is. Thank you kindly, Chris. Love the channel and appreciate the help. Well, thank you, Gabriel. Glad to provide some help. How do I get a green card? I couldn't tell you. That's through your country. However the process is, through the embassy, through your government. I don't know what the process is like for getting a green card. Do you know about Wounded Warrior Leave and how that works? Never heard of Wounded Warrior Leave. I know they have like the Wounded Warrior program and stuff. That's the foundation, and they have the Warrior Transition program for soldiers that got injured and getting transitioned out of the military because they're injured and possibly getting like medically retired and stuff. But I don't know about a Wounded Warrior Leave type of thing. I don't know about that. No idea. Unless that's a new terminology that used to be called something else back in the day. I've never heard of it though. Just got an anthrax shot 2 weeks ago, and it's a part of your readiness standard. I'm at Fort Hood. Yeah, I mean that could be a thing too. I know how to get it. Like when I was in Iraq, I got like the whole series of them. What was it, like four shots total? I don't remember how many it was. I remember the last couple of ones, last like one or two, was the painful ones, the ones that like made your arm like sore as crap. What are we doing on this? It still says excellent condition, so we're doing okay. Let's make sure that we're still good on connection wise. We're only at 37 likes, so if you take a look down below and you have not liked the stream, hit that like button. Let's do a couple more questions and let's do the drawing for the giveaway here. My daughter is at the hotel now. She took her ASVAB at MEPS today. She is trying to decide between a 13 Juliet fire control specialist and a 15 Papa aviation operations specialist. Any advice? Was it 13 Juliet fire control specialist? That's the firefighter one, right? Isn't it? If that is the case, that's hard to get. Mainly just because there's not very many soldiers in the Army that do that. And the ones that already are in that job like the job and want to stay in the job. So it's hard for an opening to open up for someone to get that one. That's tough. That's a tough one to get. So if that is the one I'm thinking of, I think that's that one, 13 Juliet. Then don't be too discouraged if you can't get that one or she can't get that one, because that's a tough one to get. A lot of people want that MOS, and there's very few slots for those because you just don't have that many firefighters in the Army anymore. So it's not that big of a demand of a job, so it's tough to get one. So yeah, you might have to settle for 15 Papa or something else maybe she's interested in. It just depends, I guess. But yeah, always shoot for what you want and try your best to get the one you want. But that's a tough one to get. And you're saying that your son is currently at 13 Mike at AIT. Just finished basic at Fort Jackson. Well, good deal. Good deal. Can run a mile in 8 minutes and can do a decent amount of hand release push-ups. Would I be able to enter boot camp, push myself, and pass by the end? Yeah, sure. You said you run a mile in 8 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's decent enough. You'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, as long as as long as you have a good base, and then in basic training, they're going to whip you into shape anyways. A lot of times, you just don't want to go into basic training too out of shape. Otherwise, you're going to struggle kind of a thing. But if you're in decent shape, you're in okay shape. You don't have to be amazing. You don't have to be like a, bodybuilder or a triathlon athlete type of thing. I mean, it sounds like pretty decent to where, if you are weak in any area, you're probably going to get whipped into shape in basic training. So you'll probably be just fine. Yeah. So we ready? Should we do the giveaway? Should we go and do the giveaway now? Tell you what, at 50 likes, get us to 50 likes, we'll do the giveaway. All right, I'll start rattling off the names. So if you're someone who needs to hit that like button down below so we can get to that giveaway, hit that like button below. Okay, let's see if we can at least get us to 50 likes, and then I'll go ahead and we'll do the raffle and find out who wins that $100 gift card from Amazon for the month of October for that drawing. And then we still have 2 more drawings. So if you don't win during this one, 2 more chances. There's a November drawing and a December drawing. You have to re-enter. If you already entered in the October one, your entries will get wiped out, and you have to start over the next month, though. And if you win this one, then you can't win the next one. So just be aware of that. All right, 47 likes. Couple more people that's going to be able to get us to 50 likes. We'll do the drawing. What do you guys say? How does your ASVAB score for combat MOS? I couldn't tell you too much. There's different factors, different topics on the ASVAB that'll kind of factor into what they're looking for. I forget what the topic is that they want for the ASVAB, but there's a lot of times several topics that'll make that overall score for that specific area they're looking at. And usually on the Go Army website, I think they have a breakdown as far as what's kind of like the topics that make this specific one. So you usually have that information on there. 47 likes. We need a couple more likes, and we'll go ahead and start the drawing. Saw somebody asking how to enter. Well, you had to be at one of the other previous live streams to enter. You can't enter during this live stream, so you're gonna have to go to the next live stream to try to enter during the November live stream, or November drawing. Do female 11 Bravos actually get deployed? Yeah, I mean, if the unit's gonna get deployed, I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. You're in a unit that's deploying. I mean, hell, sometimes 11 Bravo males don't even deploy. It just depends on your unit. So that's a possibility. Yeah, you can still deploy even as a female. All right, 51 likes. So let's find out who is going to win. Again, I'm gonna draw a name, and if you did not register your name with an email address through the link that I have down below, then I move on to the next person on the list. I'm gonna have to use my magic little, device over here that if I say the A word and you have one as well, it may set it off. So I'm gonna mute the mic temporarily. We have 82 entries. So we're gonna pick a number between 1 and 83. We have 82 entries. And whatever number she picks is the person on my list that's winning that $100 gift card. All right, so let me mute it for a second so I don't trigger anybody else's device that they may have, kind of a thing, okay? All right, so what do we need? We need 1 through, what did I say, 83? Give me a number between 1 and 83.
Here's a number between 1 and 83.
70, okay. So I look at my little chart. I got an individual here. Let me check to see if I have this individual's email address. Make sure I'm spelling it right. There we go. Doesn't look like it. All right, well, so that person is not on this is not in the registry for the email address. So that was number 70. Let's see who 71 is. '71 is not in my registry either. So 72. I do have 72. All right. So bad news for Austin Lopez, because I don't have your email address in the system if you're out here watching. Also bad news for John F. Kennedy, because I don't have your email address to send you a gift card, so you don't get it. So that went to the next one in line, which was number 72, and that was Jaden GT. So Jaden GT has won himself, herself, whoever it is, a $100 Amazon gift card. I'm going to copy and paste your email address into my little spreadsheet here, so that way I can send you an email or can send you a gift card later on. So if Jaden GT is here in the stream right now, you just won yourself a $100 Amazon gift card. And feel sorry for anybody if you are Austin Lopez or John F. Kennedy for your YouTube name, because you would have won, but you weren't registered. So there you go. So if you did not win during this live stream, you still have 2 more chances. During the next live stream and all the other live streams during the month of November, you'll have a chance to enter in it then. And then I'll do another drawing at the end of the month. And if you got your email address registered, cool. If you already had your email address registered during this one, during the month of October, you don't have to re-register it during November, December. I'll keep those email addresses for during the contest, but your entries will no longer count. So, cool. Take care of that then. We have our winner for the $100 gift card. So, all right, moving on to your guys' questions. We'll go back to the questions then. Hey Chris, are there anyone MOS like infantry besides MP and Cav Scout? Sometimes some of your combat engineers will do some of that stuff a little bit. I don't know. Special forces. I don't know. I don't know whether one's possibly could end up in that same kind of category type of thing. I don't know. Chris, do you think they would give you a dishonorable discharge if you refuse to get the COVID vax, or you think it would be a normal discharge? I'm not too sure. They've threatened to say that it would be a dishonorable discharge. I don't know if they really go that far because I feel like that's a little extreme. So I don't know if they'll actually go as far as a dishonorable discharge, because a dishonorable discharge is bad. If they do give dishonorable discharge for that, I feel like that's a little overkill, because hell, that can cause it to where you can't get hired for a lot of jobs types of thing, because they sometimes kind of treat it almost in the same way as a felony in a way. So that would, I don't know. I feel like that's a little overkill, but I don't know. I don't know what they'll end up doing. Hey Chris, do the construction and trade job MOSs do that sort of work on basis as civilians? A little bit in some cases. Some of it's kind of, I don't know all of it. I know I've seen some of the engineering individuals will do some construction stuff along with the civilians in some cases. So sometimes it's a joint effort type of thing, but I don't know all the ins and outs with that. But yeah, sometimes. Let's see. How far am I too far behind? No, I'm not too far behind the comments. I didn't know if I was really far back, but I don't think so. Nice, I'll talk to a recruiter tomorrow. Glad I should be able to do it. I was worried about the running since I'm a bit out of breath after, but I'm sure they'll knock that out of me. Yeah, I mean, you're going to get whipped into shape. I wasn't in the greatest of shape. I probably should have gone into basic training in better shape than I was, because I definitely feel like it made it a little bit rough at the beginning of basic to kind of keep up. And eventually I got it, pretty good and pretty decent. But yeah, I think it would have been a lot better if I had gone in, in better shape than I was. When deploying, what determines if it's combat or non-combat? I mean, that's the unit, where the unit's going, right? It's not like based on your MOS or anything else like that. If the unit is going to go to do training deployment in Germany, that's a non-combat deployment. If you have some kind of mission to go do in Iraq or Afghanistan or somewhere else that's a combat zone, then that's a combat deployment. So it just depends on where the unit's going, as far as what their mission is, as far as if it's a combat zone or not a combat zone. What do you think about 19 Delta? It's cool MOS. I knew a lot of people that were 19 Deltas. They liked it. They thought it was cool. Some people said it sucked. So I mean, I think it just depends on you sometimes, as far as if it's something that you're really interested in, and something that's I mean, sometimes it depends on the leadership too. The leadership can make or break a good unit. Does infantry get a lot of downtime? It's sometimes that can be a thing. Sometimes where they get a lot of downtime, or they're really busy or whatever. So it just kind of depends. Uh-oh, little baby, what are you doing?
How to get up in our attic?
There's a hole in the garage. We get up in the attic, but there's nothing in the attic.
Why?
It's not a real attic.
Why?
Yes, it's just a place with a bunch of insulation. Keep the house warm.
Nobody you open the attic.
It opens in the garage, but there's no ladder. You'd have to put a ladder up there, and you have to crawl in. And it's really small, so you'd have to crawl. You wouldn't be able to stand up inside of it. It's a small attic. Were you watching a show that had an attic on it?
Huh?
Were you watching a TV show that has an attic in it? In their house? Oh.
But Peppa Pig has a big attic.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, she has this big attic.
It's a really big attic? Well, yeah, ours is a small attic.
Why?
Because this is how it is.
After you get us, Dad.
Yeah.
We have an attic in our school.
You do? In your school?
Uh-huh.
That's pretty cool.
You can pull the string in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah? In the kitchen?
Huh?
Yeah. Ours is a small little hole in the garage. And you can climb inside of it.
Yeah.
But it's really small.
And you crawl.
Yeah. But then you get all itchy because there's a bunch of insulation and stuff inside of there. Maybe spiders. And nails that probably sticking through the roof. I guess.
Dad,
What?
who's up there?
Nobody. Nobody's in the attic. I hope not.
What?
Is any of you guys in the attic?
Huh?
Huh? Who am I talking to? What?
It's me.
What? You? Oh, you. I'm not talking to them?
Daddy. Huh?
Who are they?
Huh?
Who are those people? You know them? Oh, there's people over there. You don't see them?
No.
You can't see there's people inside there. Right inside here.
No.
There's people in there.
I can't see in the dark.
Oh. Okay.
On my phone.
Yeah. Well, I gotta do live stream. You can go back upstairs?
Who is
Go
that?
see mommy? I don't know who they are. We got, you know, like Ryan and VGMR and Teddy and Killer Beast and Matt and Angry Contractor. All sorts of people.
Like Jackson's.
Kiss. Go see mommy.
Hi.
Alright. Back on topic. Hey Chris, plan on joining the military after high school and want to get a GI Bill. How does that work? Do I go to college during the military after? It's tough to get, like if you go during the military, you don't have to use your GI Bill. You can use tuition assistance, but you have to get approval for that. A lot of times you can only do that if you re-enlist for that kind of a thing. Got a super chat. And then if you want to go to college afterwards, then you use the GI Bill. You go to your college, and there should be like a VA representative kind of a thing, or somebody there that deals with your GI Bill or VA representative type of stuff. And you go and tell them you want to use. You're in the military. You have the GI Bill, and you sign up to use your GI Bill to pay for the schooling and stuff like that. So you kind of do it that way. But if you can do it during the military, that's awesome, and that makes it so you don't have to use some of your GI Bill for that kind of thing. But that's depending on where you're doing and what your unit is and your MOS and everything. Sometimes it can be pretty difficult. Super chat from VGMR. I'm not in the attic stealing your Wi-Fi. Hey, it's possible. I have damn Xfinity, and they have data caps. That's part of the reason too, I think, why we had crappy connection yesterday. It turned out we did have kind of a crappy connection because I think Xfinity was throttling me because I'd already used 90% of my data caps for the month of October, and it was the last day of the month, and so now it's reset though because we're now the first day of the month. So maybe you're up there downloading the stupid Call of Duty downloads, screwing up my Wi-Fi, man. Making me get close to my data caps. But thanks for the super chat, man. I'll take that $5 and use it towards increasing my data cap, maybe. No, it would take more than that, probably. All right, coming back in the chat a little bit. So reconnected. How big of a gap will we end up with? Not too bad of one. I think it just was for a second. Just a small gap. I think we're good. Hopefully that's not gonna be a consistent thing. It's probably Xfinity's fault because we mentioned it. What should we be thinking about before joining the military? Something that no one talks about. I don't know if there's anything that no one talks about. Something you should be thinking about. I mean, I think a lot of I've talked about probably everything probably. I mean, sometimes it sucks being in the Army, sometimes it's awesome about being in the Army, sometimes there's just sucky moments and good moments, and you get a little bit of both. Don't think it's going to be all peachy. I mean, you might be super lucky and everything's great and you love it every single time, but that's not common. Sometimes you just have crappy moments, and I think that's with any job, really. So don't think that it's the best thing in the whole wide world. Sometimes it sucks, and sometimes it's the worst thing in the world, and you wish you were not in the Army. Maybe wish you didn't join. And then there's other times where you're like, oh, this is pretty cool. I can do this. It's a pretty good deal. But as far as something that nobody talks about, I don't know if there's anything that nobody talks about. I talk about everything. I don't hold anything back about the Army. I'm not trying to sell you, say that the Army is the greatest thing. I'm not saying it's the worst thing. It's going to vary based on your opinion. I have nothing to gain if you join the Army or don't join the Army. The only thing I have to gain is if you watch my videos. So I'm just going to be honest and provide you the truth, and hopefully I guess you watch my videos. Whether or not you join the Army, I don't really care. But I'm going to try to provide you all the facts so you know everything. So I am not going to sugarcoat anything. I will tell you that sometimes it sucks really bad being in the Army, and sometimes it's pretty cool. Your experiences may vary. Favorite field hack? I don't know. I don't know if I have field hacks. I don't know. I mean, to take a shower, you'd have to use baby wipes. That's a pretty common one that a lot of people know. We used to go and sometimes put our uniforms underneath, like if we, like sometimes we'd be at the gunnery complex, and we would have to, we'd have like these bunks with an actual mattress, not having to sleep on a cot, and we would go and be able to stick our uniforms underneath the mattress and kind of like almost get like a field press, we would call it, with our uniform, because your uniform's probably all dirty because you're out in the field, and then plus you're also compressing it with a weight, so you kind of get these creases in your uniform, so we kind of call it a field press. But I don't know if there's any really good hacks necessarily, type of thing. If you're cold, go stand near a tank if you have tanks. Don't stand too close though. Hey Chris, what makes a good and a bad leader? What makes a good and bad leadership? You know, a good leader is someone who doesn't micromanage, gives you a little bit of responsibility, maybe lets you off the reins a little bit, being like, you know, giving you a choice to do some stuff with, you know, a range type of thing. You know, that's one way. Not making you do something they wouldn't do is usually pretty good. You can't expect leaders to always necessarily get their hands dirty with you, type of thing, because sometimes they got a lot of other tasks they got to do. But you know, hopefully they don't make you do something they wouldn't do. That's usually pretty good. Leadership wise, you know, keeping you motivated, morale, right? Not always bringing you down and talking about all the bad stuff you're doing. You know, you got to talk about the good stuff. And I mean, yeah, you do have to mention the bad stuff if people are screwing up, but trying to make it that the only thing you recognize is the bad stuff. You got to make sure you also recognize the good stuff too, to keep that morale up and find ways to motivate people. You know, I find that if you motivate people and you're a good leader and you're a good person, kind of a thing, they're more eager to want to do right for you, right, and accomplish the mission properly. So if you're always just ragging on someone really bad and all stuff like that, then they hate you, then they're not necessarily very motivated to want to accomplish the mission that you need them to accomplish. But if you're almost in a way like your friend, I mean, you're not kind of supposed to get at that level, but you know, you're at that kind of in a way where they feel like it maybe, or I don't know how to really kind of word that the best, but I found that the people that I'm cool with, I was more eager to want to make sure that I tried really hard to accomplish the mission for them so that I don't let them down. Let her co-host. I don't know how well of a co-host you do. Have you ever heard of a soldier OD in your unit? No. I think I've ever had that. I've had maybe a couple times where it was kind of close for someone having alcohol poisoning, but you know, ODing would be pretty bad. I don't think I've ever had that kind of situation. What's happening to Candace? How's it going? Do soldiers get overseas service bars for fighting Operation Inherent Resolve? Yeah, I mean, pretty much any place that you go that's overseas. I mean, that can be, I don't know if Hawaii, I don't think Hawaii counts as overseas. I don't know. I know like Korea, Germany, Iraq, wherever you go, anywhere that's not in the United States for the most part, and you're there for at least a year. Yeah, if you're there for at least a year, then you get an overseas service ribbon. Or a little bar on your sleeve type of thing. If it's less than a year, then you have to try to accumulate it, because they do accumulate. So if you did like 6 months here and then 6 months at another time, then that would get you that one stripe. But yeah. What exercise do you recommend to get ready for basic training? Some of your basic ones, just going running a lot. Like cardio is really big. So being able to run more than 2 miles without having to stop to walk or stop to take your breath, right? If you can keep a decent, you don't have to be fast, but you can have a decent pace for 2 miles without stopping. That's pretty good. That's what you want to aim for. And push-ups, right? You can either try to do the new ones, like for the ACFT, the hand release ones, and try to be able to do like 30, 40, something kind of a thing like that. But cardio is usually one of the biggest ones I usually recommend. A lot of the other stuff sometimes can come. Like I was horrible at push-ups when I first went into the Army, and I got better in basic training. But I had a decent cardio kind of a thing, and that still helped a little bit. So at least having decent cardio will be a big thing. So running, road marching, hiking, whatever you got to do to build that cardio base to be able to run 2+ miles without having to stop. Hey, thanks. I'm in decent. Thanks for the advice. I'm in decent shape. I was thanking Guard, but thanks again, guys. I'm too old, I guess. As long as you're younger than 35. If you're 35 or older, then you might have to get a waiver, and then it depends. But Yeah, if you're younger than 35, you're good. Hey Chris, why doesn't the military make you be able to choose if you want to be 11 Charlie or 11 Bravo? Since OSIT chooses what you're going to be, it sucks if you want to be an 11 Charlie and get stuck being 11 Bravo. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure why they don't let you choose one or the other. Maybe it's one of those MOSs where like nobody wants to be an 11 Charlie, so they kind of like force you into it by bundling it together into 11 Bravo or 11 Charlie, and then they just grab who they need for 11 Charlie, because otherwise nobody wants to be an 11 Charlie. I don't know. I'm not too sure what the theory is behind that and why that kind of went that way. 64 likes. We got probably about 10-15 more minutes of live streams. We're going to try to get to the goal that way. 100 likes. We can make that happen. Is it better to go this way? It's better to use this arm, huh? Yeah, it's better to use that arm. 100 likes. If we can get to 100 likes, cool. If we can't, then you owe me 100 push-ups. Sorry, that's how it goes. That was part of the terms of service when you clicked on the live stream. In all serious, data caps are terrible. I pay extra $50 for unlimited data. Yeah, Xfinity has that, and I might switch that eventually. I don't know. If it was a thing where I was consistently going over the limit, then maybe I would, but most of the time it ends up being a thing where I just get close to the limit. And then you're allowed to go over the limit, what is it? I think once or twice per calendar year or something like that, before then they start charging you for you go over. And I think like this year, I think I've only gone over the limit once, I think. So I think I'm okay. If there was a thing where I was consistently doing it, so like probably if I was playing Call of Duty a lot more, I probably would be going over. But yeah, I don't know what was going on this month. I did a lot of downloading of some B-roll for the new channel. If you don't know, I have another channel that I'm going to work on. Actually, technically two or three new channels that I'm going to try to build up. Not to take away from this, but just in addition, try to anyways. And then I did a video that needed a lot of B-roll for it on that other channel. The other channel is the 2 Minute Army. So if you want some army tips, but in videos that are 2 minutes or less, that's what that channel is going to be for. So I'll try to provide a lot of the things I provide information about, but in short form for 2 minutes or less. And then in that video, I had to download a lot of B-roll footage, and I think that kind of used a lot of data downloading all those video footage, even though some of the video files were larger and I only used like 5 seconds of it or whatever, but I had to download the full video anyways. So that probably hurt a little bit. And then I think earlier in the month, I think this month when I downloaded Fallout 76, even though I've only played it once since I downloaded it, but that probably took a little bit of downloads data too. So hey Chris, do 11 Charlies patrol 11 Bravos, or do they just stay in one place like artillery and wait to call for it fire? Most of the time, yeah. I mean, there might be some situations where like your 11 Charlies could do some of that stuff, but for the most part, their role is to have like a track vehicle stationary somewhere. I mean, you could have a situation where getting from point A to point B, or where you need to set up, something happens and you have to get into conflict, you know, in that kind of situation. But for the most part, they're kind of usually setting up locations for a little bit at a distance to be able to be within range of whatever they're supporting, to be able to use those mortars when someone calls for fire on targets. But I mean, there could be situations where 11 Charlie does some of that stuff. It's just not very common. Even for Fort Jackson has one. Good luck to you. Favorite MRE? Chili Mac. I like the Chili Mac one. It's pretty good. If you guys didn't see, I posted on Instagram, I got a case of MREs. So I'm going to try to start doing maybe some kind of like MRE review type of videos. I know there's other channels that do this dedicated type of thing, but why not? It'd be kind of fun, right? Maybe I'll give it my impression. I'm not a good foodie, so I think is what it's more going to be necessarily than a food review, MRE review type of thing. As like, hey, what's in this MRE? And you kind of get to see what the contents are of the MRE. But yeah, I'll probably still try it anyways, give my thoughts. But that'll be probably the more focus is showing you what's inside the specific MRE. So I got a case of MREs, and we'll maybe start doing some of those videos hopefully soon. Good leadership is like good management in the civilian world. They possess the same qualities. Yeah, essentially. There's a lot of the same kind of quality type of things. The only thing that may differ is that hopefully your army leadership doesn't get you killed. You probably don't have to worry about that in most job fields in the civilian area, unless you're in certain ones like that, like firefighting and police, law enforcement, and other certain ones. But for the most part, yeah. Do you like better beer, wine, or liquor? Maybe liquor. I don't really drink alcohol, not because I have a drinking problem or had a drinking problem or anything else like that. But alcohol just makes me sleepy. So, I mean, if I drink alcohol, for the most part, that usually just makes me tired. So I'm usually not very interested in wanting to drink alcohol because it's just going to make me tired. But the very, very few, seldom times that I will consume any alcohol, it'll usually be like mixed drinks. I'll go with my buddy David, and maybe we'll do something like at his place where we're watching like some UFC fights or the Super Bowl or whatever it is, and maybe having a few shots here and there or something like that, but that's usually about it. Hey Chris, leaving for Jackson May 22nd as a 12 November. I want to make some extra money besides my base pay going as an E3, but I would like to know what are some things I can sell at basic. Thanks. You can sell at basic. You're not going to sell anything at basic. I wouldn't expect to do anything in basic. I mean, there's going to be some ways once you're done with your initial training that maybe you can earn some extra cash, and actually have a video planned pretty soon for a topic on that of how to like make some side hustle kind of a thing, how to earn some side cash when you're on active duty type of thing. But don't expect to try to be able to make money in basic training. You're not going to be able to. Drill sergeants aren't going to allow that kind of a thing. You're not going to have an opportunity to be able to do so. People aren't going to probably want to buy anything from you kind of a thing unless you're trying to sell snacks, and that's not going to be allowed, and you're going to get your ass smoked for that. So I wouldn't expect to try to be able to sell anything in basic training. Hold off until you've gotten to your unit. There's a few ways that I'll mention in a video coming up pretty soon that you could do some side hustle things to earn some extra cash during those moments. What do we got? We're at 70 likes. Hit that like button, try and get 100. We probably got about 5-10 more minutes of live stream before we're going to cut it off. Hey Chris, how hard is it to be sent to Jungle Warfare School? I don't know, do they still do that school? I'm not even sure if they still do that school or not. They might. I don't know anything about that school. I know I've heard about it before, but I'm not even 100% sure if that's still a school that they offer. So I don't know. So I'd imagine it's probably pretty hard to get to that school if they even still do it. What's happening, Jose? How's it going? According to my mom, when she signed up in the Army, Alaska and Hawaii are considered overseas. Yeah, they might be. Yeah, I wasn't too sure if you. I just don't remember if people got overseas ribbons for Alaska or Hawaii. But maybe it's possible. I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, if you said your mom says that was a thing when she did it, so it's possible. I'm not gonna say that she's not telling the truth because it's possibly she is telling the truth. What rank was I in the Army? I was a 4-star general private. So this is right here. 4-star general private. General private. That's a frequently asked question, and if you don't know it, I was a sergeant. But a lot of answers to frequently asked questions are available through the About section of my YouTube channel, or ChristopherChaos.com. Either one. Whichever you would like. Got a super chat. It's just a sticker kind of a thing, and I can't feature it, but thanks. Francisco. Appreciate the super chat, my friend. Hey Chris, I'm at AIT right now. Actually, honestly, one thing I'm always afraid to do is talk to drill sergeants. Any tips to make talking to them easier? Just be respectful. I mean, it's a tough thing. Like AIT shouldn't be as bad as like the basic training drill sergeants. You usually don't want to talk to the basic training drill sergeants unless you really have to. I would avoid that because sometimes they just find that as an excuse to want to smoke you. So it has to be really necessary for you to need to talk to them. But just be respectful, right? Stand at parade rest. If you got questions you want to ask them, address them properly, kind of a thing. But that'd be the best way to talk to them. If that'll make it easier, I don't really know. Sometimes it just depends on the individual, right? If they're a hardcore drill sergeant that's going to be in your face and super strict and intimidating, then there might not be anything you can do. So I think that's just really going to depend on that drill sergeant, right? I remember I had in basic, they were all pretty strict at Fort Benning for my basic training. They kind of were a little bit cooler towards the end. I remember there was one that was a pretty cool guy towards the end. Where he'd open up a little bit to you, once you're getting close to graduation. AIT, don't remember if there might have been like one drill sergeant that was kind of cool you could talk to, and the rest were kind of like standoffish, where they didn't really want to communicate with you too much, kind of a thing. So it depends. It sometimes will depend on that drill sergeant. T-Mobile provide a good home internet and it's cheap. I don't think T-Mobile could do the speeds that I have though, because I have a gig of speed. I don't think T-Mobile can do a gig of speed. It'd be probably pretty slow, so I wouldn't want that. Any more ideas for another MOS Monday? I was actually going to do one this Monday, and I got behind. I got too busy this weekend with Halloween and the live stream and everything else like that I didn't get around to recording one. But originally there was going to be one. I don't think I had picked what MOS was going to be, so I kind of slacked on that. But next Monday, I'm probably going to try to, unless something gets in the way of that. But there should hopefully be an MOS Monday next Monday. What MOS it'll be, I'm not too sure at this point. I'll have to look back at the comments and see what the next kind of like top request was in that little community post I did the other week when I was kind of talking about bringing it back. So we'll have to see from there. Just got back from Fort Jackson. Good deal, Philip. Hopefully it all went well. I'm a vegetarian. I'll be joining the Army next summer, but I don't know if Army have vegetarian in basic training. Yeah, they do. They should anyways. I know I saw, there's a video that I did, was the Fort Seal video? I think that Fort Seal video that I did recently where I'm reacting to the Fort Seal basic training. In that video, the drill sergeant actually mentions that they have options for vegan and vegetarians and stuff too. So yes, they even have vegetarian like MREs. I don't know if they have vegan MREs, I don't know. But they have vegetarian MREs. So yes, you should be able to still keep a vegetarian diet even in basic training. Sell contraband from MREs. Don't do that. Don't sell contraband from the MREs. There you go. That might be a way you possibly could legitimately make some money. Says my friend made $700 off of fire guard shifts. You potentially could make a little bit of money off that. That might be a way that probably wouldn't get you in trouble, possibly, by pulling somebody else's fire guard for like $50. I mean, somebody has to be desperate. Usually you're only on fire guard for like an hour, and that's not that bad. It's not a big deal. If someone's really that desperate and wants to pay you $50, $100, $20 or whatever to sleep for an extra hour, maybe. So that might be a way you could make a little extra money, is, you know, if people were to pay you to do their fire guard. How many hours of sleep did he get? Oh, you're talking about for the other guy? Yeah. I mean, that would probably make it to where you get less sleep, obviously. Hey, Chris, how do you become an RTO for your platoon? That's pretty random. It's not really like necessarily like a designated job that you can do something to get it. A lot of times it's like usually like the main people that have like a radio that goes everywhere with them is like, you know, your platoon sergeant, your platoon leader. And a lot of times if you are the platoon sergeant's driver or the platoon sergeant's or the platoon leader's driver, like one of those kind of things, then you might also be the RTO for that kind of a thing. Otherwise, it's pretty random as far as who needs it. Otherwise, those are the only people that sometimes have an RTO individual, and then most of the time they have their own radio too. You have like a tasking you'll have to do sometimes where they need people to go to like the TOC, the Tactical Operations Center, to man the radios and man the systems that I teach for the navigation system and reporting. And you'll be stuck on that for like all day, half day, whatever kind of a shift they want to do. And that's pretty random as far as just designating a soldier to do that. But it's not like in the old school World War movies, you know, where you have someone following you around with a radio. A lot of times the person that has the radio just does the radio themselves. Like I've had it many times where like I had a radio in Iraq. I don't have like an RTO that mans the radio for me. I work the radio. I do my thing, and I also work my own radio. And a lot of other individuals the same way. If you get out of the vehicle, then your driver takes over radio comms if it's one that's mounted inside the vehicle. If you have the embedder that can go with you, handheld, then you can still utilize it when you're out of the vehicle type of thing. But it's not the same way as like a lot of the war movies type of thing. So most of the time, just people do their own radios for the most part, usually. How can you obtain photos that the military have of you? I don't know, I guess it depends. Like if they post it to their Facebook, you can download off Facebook. Otherwise, beyond that, I could not tell you, kind of a thing. I don't know. It depends on where they put it. Sometimes that Divids, I use that for like sometimes my B-roll footage, stuff like that. but you have to have an account registered for that, and sometimes you can look yourself up. Like I have a video of myself on there that they took of me wishing my hometown a happy Thanksgiving or something like that. But beyond that, I don't think there's anything else of me on there. If I want to become a ranger, do I get RASP put in my contract? When talking to the recruiter, yeah, I would try it. I mean, you can try to go rangers like after you go to unit, but then it gets a little bit difficult. But yeah, if it's something you want to do like straight off the bat, it was an option 40, I think it is. You would talk to your recruiter, tell them you're interested in going rangers, and you like try to get it into your contract. So then you join an MOS that is available for the rangers, whether it's infantry. There's other MOSs that are not necessarily infantry that are available for rangers. Like you can do 88 Mike, truck driver. What my MOS that I was, that is a MOS that is in the rangers, and you could do that if you really want to. 68 Whiskey. There's a lot of MOSs that are available in the rangers, and you get that MOS, but then you also get in your contract to where when you're done with everything, then you go off to RASP so that you can try to get selected for rangers. So you'd want to do it that way. I think it's like option 40. How's it going, Badge? Selling candy. I don't want to sell candy in basic. You ever miss the army? Not really. No, I mean, I work around the military, work around the army all the time, every day, because my job works on Fort Carson here in Colorado. So I train soldiers. So I work around the army without having to be in the army. So it's, if I really missed it, then I'd have that. But no, I don't miss being in the army. What's the highest rank an enlisted soldier can reach before they can't go green to gold? I don't know if there is. It might be like somewhere around like the E7, E8 area. I'm not 100% sure. There might not even be one. There might not even be a limit, but I could definitely see if there is a limit, it'd probably be somewhere around there. Like E6 might be your last chance to go green to gold, and then E7 they may not allow it, but I don't know that for sure. There might not even be a limit. I'd have to look into it. I'm probably gonna do a green to gold video at some point, maybe before the end of the year. Do a green to gold video of like how that program kind of works, do a little bit of research and see how it goes. I know somebody that I work with that did green to gold, but he did it a long time ago though. So some of the things might have changed since then. So I don't know. Can a drill sergeant smoke or discipline a lower enlisted cadre? Yeah, sure. I mean, it's just like regular NCO, right? So if like you have like a let's say a specialist, I know I've seen like this, like the armorer, right? That's attached to that basic training unit. Sure. They might not do it in front of the soldiers, but yeah, I mean, it still could, just like any other leadership would be able to do. Hey, Chris, how do you become an instructor for a school for airborne air assault school? I'm not too sure. You probably have to be like a jump master, or there's probably other qualifications. I don't know what the qualifications are to become an instructor for that kind of a thing. I'm sure you have to be pretty experienced in being able to do either like airborne air assault to be able to do so. Super chat sticker. I can't feature super chat stickers. It doesn't allow me to feature it on the screen, but was it Job? Thanks for the $5. Was it some hippos popping out of the water? Okay. Cool animation. Appreciate the super chat. Oh, I hit the microphone. It'll pop up right there, right? You can see that. But I can't feature it on the screen through the little plugin that I use. Thanks for the super chat sticker, my friend. Appreciate you. Can anyone answer this for me? I can probably answer it for you. When will you get deployed after boot or at school? I mean, no, you're not going to do it during initial training. It's going to have to be after you're done with all your initial training. You're at your unit, because you deploy at your unit, not at like school kind of a thing. So no, it's going to be at your unit if your unit even has orders to deploy. So that is still the thing. You're not guaranteed to deploy, whether to combat or non-combat deployment. It's going to depend on what your unit has going on if you'll deploy and when you'll deploy. But it'll be after you're done with initial training. Do they color code foods on basic? In that video, I think I mentioned it where they had like color codes for like healthiness of how healthy it was. But if that's what you're talking about, I think they had that. The veggie burger MRE is awesome. Ugh, that doesn't sound very good. I don't think I've ever had that one. We'll see if that's in this box. If that's in this box, maybe I'll review it and do some videos. Probably when I do start doing MRE review videos, that'll probably be like a Friday thing. So you'll keep an eye out for that probably. Is Korea the only place you were stationed overseas? I guess besides Iraq. Yeah. Stationed overseas, Korea. Because the other times I was overseas was for combat deployments, both times to Iraq. We did a little bit of time in Kuwait, but only like 30 days or less in Kuwait, and the rest of the time would be in Iraq. Signed a contract today as a 91 Bravo, leaving Monday for Fort Jackson basic combat training, going active duty. Good luck to you. Good deal. Hopefully it all works out. Can you go to Air Assault School before AIT? I'm doing National Guard split training. Going to go during senior year. No. Usually, Air Assault is not something you get into your contract. That's more because there's multiple locations for Air Assault School where there's only one for Airborne School. So that's a little bit harder to get. So you have to get that into your contract or try to get your unit to send you after initial training. But you can't get Air Assault School into your initial training, into your contract for initially joining. That's something you're going to have to request their unit for them to send you to. And if they have the money, the funds, the slots, all that kind of stuff to send you to Air Assault School, then they'll send you off to Air Assault School. But yeah, you can't get Air Assault School in your contract. You ever see a lieutenant put a sergeant major at attention? I don't think so. Usually, sergeant, even though technically the lieutenant outranks the sergeant major has a lot more authority than that lieutenant does, and that sergeant major can get that lieutenant in some deep shit because that sergeant major's probably works side by side with that lieutenant's boss. So even though technically speaking that lieutenant outranks that sergeant major, that lieutenant knows that sergeant major has a lot more authority than that lieutenant has. I was my TRP's lead dagger teacher. Good deal. Hey, I got a waiver for a severe stuttering. What is my chance of enlisting? Couldn't tell you. It might just depend on needs of the Army, with the waiver, if the waiver has any kind of limitations or whatever, but I couldn't really tell you too much. If you already got a waiver for it, then I guess it's pretty good. Hey, Chris, have you ever seen was it AIT or IT? Act like or lieutenant, that's what it is. The font was kind of small. Like he has more experience than a sergeant or higher ranking while deployed and not. I mean, with a sergeant, yeah, you could. I mean, especially if sometimes you have lieutenants that are prior enlisted and they do probably have more experience than a sergeant. But yeah, I mean, usually at the rank of a sergeant, you're not powerful enough to try to like outshine a lieutenant yet. Maybe when you get staff sergeant, maybe a little bit better, but yeah, you'll still see lieutenants are still bossing around sergeants sometimes. I mean, typically officers try not to get too involved with NCO types of things, but sometimes it'll happen. Anything good about Fort Lewis? Just got here. I have never been to Fort Lewis, so I could not tell you. Good luck to you. Hopefully it goes well. Why does my recruiter keep saying next week for me to go MEPS, but when the time comes, he says, no, it'll be next week? They could be backed up. I don't know, maybe COVID is jacking stuff up, maybe they're short-staffed, and so people's dates are getting pushed back. I don't know, there could be a lot of factors probably in there, but usually that's a common one, is maybe if they're backed up and there's people that enlisted before you or got signed up before you that their dates got pushed back, so they got to get through the backlog of people before they can finally get to you. So that's possible. I don't know for sure, though. Time to warm up the push-ups. Probably 77 likes right now. We're about to end the stream probably here, and I'll probably do a couple more questions. Let's do one or two more questions, and we're going to end it here. I heard there's a height limit for 19 kilo. Is it possible to get a waiver for that? I don't know. Probably not, because the reason why there probably is a height limit for it is there's not a lot of room inside of that Bradley. And if you're above the height that they feel is safe for someone to be able to maneuver inside that Bradley, then now you're in a realm of safety issue where you're going to have a hard time moving around inside that Bradley, and that can be the difference between, getting up on the gun in time, getting the weapon system loaded on time, getting out of the vehicle to dismount on time, or whatever, right? And so that's a safety issue. So I don't think they're going to waive that. I don't believe so. That's my opinion. I don't know that for sure. You can always check with an Army recruiter to be sure about it, but I would believe that if they have a height limit involved with 19 kilo, it's for that reason, because they don't want people to be too tall that they cause a safety risk being inside that Bradley, because they can't maneuver as well as they should be able to maneuver if they were under that height. So, yeah. One more good question, maybe? Let's see. All right, Chris, gonna hit those push-ups. Have a nice night. Rock on. Well, thanks, Jay the Born. I don't have any RASP or Ranger tips. Just be in great shape. You did miss the giveaway badge. We already did it. It was went to Jaden GT, which I don't believe was here in the stream, but I'll be emailing him shortly within the next day or two or less or whatever. That $100 gift card. Looking for maybe one last good question. I don't know anything about Ranger School. I can't answer you a good question. I can't give you a good answer about Ranger School because I don't know anything about Ranger School. Did 100 push-ups already, Jim? All right. Well, you're a stud. Good deal. We did not get to 100 likes, so looks like you guys got some push-ups to do. Sorry, my friends. That was part of the terms of service when you clicked on the stream. Is that if we don't get to our goal of 100 likes, you gotta do push-ups. I guess this will be our last question right here from the Angry Contractor. Hey Chris, I'm into communications, but I want to go 11 Bravo. Any tips to work with comms more as an 11 Bravo? I mean, it's gonna be a flip of the coin, really. There's probably no good way to do 11 Bravo, but also get to work with comms to have increased chances. I mean, that could be a thing that when you get higher ranking, you're gonna have to do that anyways, because you're gonna have to work your own radio systems. But at the lower ranking kind of a thing, maybe you're for like the platoon sergeant's driver, the platoon leader's driver, those kind of things. Outside of that, it's pretty tough to kind of determine that. I mean, if you specifically want to work with comms, then maybe you want to go 25 uniform, because that's what they do. That's their job, is working with communications. You can get more on the IT side of things and be a 25 Bravo, which is more like switches and networking and all that kind of a thing, a little bit more complicated. So 25 series MOSs are specifically in that IT kind of field. 25 uniform is the ones that works with communications, but as an 11 Bravo, there's not really a great way to be able to do so. I don't know anything about a 25 Charlie, so I don't know how 25 Charlie works. I only know the little bit about 25 uniforms and 25 Bravos. I don't know much outside of those two 25 series MOSs, so you have to do some research, but those are the MOSs that work with communications. How to kind of work with communications when you're 11 Bravo, there's no real guarantee with that. It's going to just depend. When you're higher ranking, sure, but at the lower ranking things, there's no telling. All right, guys, I think we're going to be ending the stream then. So let's get ready to end it, huh? We almost need like motivational music right now to be like playing, so I can give you, I guess, some kind of spiel on how like you guys are doing great things. I appreciate you, because I do appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys for coming to hang out. Definitely a better turnout than what we attempted to do yesterday. I don't think I'm ever going to do an afternoon stream ever again. It was horrible. Barely anybody showed up to the damn thing. I mean, I appreciate anybody that shows up. I mean, I remember there was a point in time when I would try to hit that live button and do a live stream, and 3 people, if I was lucky, would show up. So I should be still lucky, right? Because there was a time when that was pretty good, and I was excited to have 3 people show up to live stream. So nonetheless, I'm grateful no matter how many people show up. But I try to be as productive as possible. So I hope for more people. That way we can keep the flow of the live stream going really well, and we're not having to sit here and fill space with random crap that I'm rambling about. And I can just sit here and dedicate the time in the live stream to answering your guys' questions you want to know about the United States Army or whatever you want to know about. And that's really the goal kind of thing with these live streams, is to provide you the chance to ask questions and for me to answer them without having to necessarily put out a dedicated video to it or whatever kind of a thing. And sometimes it leads to the idea of, hey, maybe this would make a great dedicated video, and that's happened sometimes too. So thanks for coming to hang out. If you missed the giveaway, we already did the giveaway, obviously, but you already had to be pre-entered. The next live stream, next Sunday, you'll have chances again to re-enter. If you already entered in the October one, all those entries are going to get wiped out. If you already registered your email address with your username, that's still good. That'll stay for the whole entire contest. but your entries into the giveaway will be wiped clean and start over in November. The only person that won't be able to win now will be Jade and GT because he already won, right? So you can't win twice, or 3 times or whatever. So Jaden will be eliminated from being able to enter in the contest. But you guys all have a chance still. Come and stop by the live streams, and at some point during the live stream, you'll have a chance to enter in the live stream, and you can enter once during each live stream. So if you come to every single live stream, then that's multiple entries that increases your chances of possibly winning that $100 gift card from Amazon at the end of the month. So come hang out for that kind of a thing. You guys are awesome. We're still on the path to try to get to 100,000 subscribers before the end of this year. So tell your friends, go hit that subscribe button. We need 5,000 more people, a little slightly less than 5,000, but basically 5,000 people. We basically need 5,000 more people here in the next couple of months to make it happen. I'm going to work hard to try to make that happen and provide you guys with some great, amazing content. So thank you guys. Thanks for coming to stop by on this Monday evening live stream. We'll see you again the next time during the normally scheduled live stream on Sunday. Hope you guys have a great week. New video coming maybe tomorrow. Definitely a Wednesday one. Possibly a short. Maybe tomorrow, we'll see. But definitely a new video on Wednesday. So thanks for hanging out, guys. You rock. I'll see you next time. See ya.